So what was your first job in Cleveland?
I worked at a candy store at first when I was 16.
Was that your first job in a candy store?
Yeah.
That was a good job.
Yeah, but they had those candy stores that were next to theaters, you know, where they sold popcorn and cones. And I worked at a dairy that they sold, it was a big dairy that we sold all kinds of ice cream. It wasn't gelato, but it was a dairy that had a whole front. Dad used to pick me up there. And I used to make him a sundae. He'd come and sit in the booth, wait for me to get off work. I would make him a sundae because he could eat all that, with all that ice cream, and I put every flavor imaginable, and whipped cream and nuts. Never get to him. So he was sitting in the booth, he was going to eat it before I got off, and the guy in the next booth says, I want one just like that. But that was even on the menu. I worked, in fact, he used to pick me up I worked in another Greek little place right near the corner there, that they sold popcorn when you went to, they didn't sell much in the theater those days, so it was it was a Greek, yeah, they're all Greeks, and they had his wife was nice, they were a nice couple. You would sell popcorn, he had a popcorn machine, and he'd have all these candies you could buy. And,
did you eat a lot of candy there?
I could have all I wanted, and he didn't say anything. After a while, you didn't even like it. You get sick of it. Even the ice cream, they would, they say you can have all you want. Oh boy, we were having the different, at the end you got so that you did. They knew that.
They knew that, yeah.
But then when I married Dad, I got a job working in an office, typing. It was a company that used to do the previews to the theaters, so I often knew what was coming. Yeah, but you typed it by hand, and they would send out the flyers of what was coming in. And that's what I worked. And then, before that, I worked at Cleveland Pneumatics. That's my little button, a Cleveland Pneumatics tool. I worked in an office with engineers that designed I even used to know the planes, what is it, 47, the bombers, the Boeing 36. But there was a big room with all these engineers that were working, and we worked in the office. So I worked there when I worked there, and I was pregnant with you. I worked there for about 4 or 5 months, and then I quit. But that was the last job I had. So.
No, you had a very long job of raising a family.
Yeah.
What was that job where you got your leg cut? What was that?
That was at dairy. I still have the big.
How did you do that?
Well, we were cleaning up, and in fact, it was maybe owned the dairy. It was the boss's son, and we were cleaning, and we were fooling around, and there was a bottle there. He says, "What's this bottle doing?" And he threw the bottle. It shattered, and I still have a cut on my like this. It just took a whole chunk out of my leg.
Yikes!
So we tied it up with a towel, and I went home. And the next morning, my mother must have told him. My dad looked at it and said, "Oh, you got to go to the." So they couldn't even put in stitches because it was too wide. They put in clamps. I was off my feet. In fact, I didn't even graduate with my class that year. I did graduate, but the class that I really went to was the August one, the ones that went to summer school, because I didn't finish my education to get my diploma in June. But they gave it to me in August of the same year.
This was from high school, we're talking?
Yeah, I was working part-time there.
Oh, that's
any compensation from
No, it's terrible.
You could have sued them.
They pay, really, when you think about it, the scar and everything, who knew? My father didn't know anything.
Yeah.
We could have easily sued them.
Yeah.
I think they paid for the doctor visit. But being that was the son of the owner of this big dairy,
You could have owned a dairy.
Easily, when you think about it now. I still have a scar on my leg.
So, what was the name of the club that Jim Sr. was playing in that you met him in?
Oh, Seals.
Seals? S-E-A-L-S?
No, C-I-O apostrophe S, Seals.
Seals, like the guy's name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been. They were an Italian couple, and they moved to California just before us, and we visited them. They lived in North Hollywood.
Oh.
And we visited them. They were the owners of the club. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's where he had his orchestra.
And he was a leader of the orchestra.
It was his orchestra, yeah.
And Joe Patillo was in it?
No, Joe didn't. Joe was married. Joe played with him earlier when they were the Five Sicilians. They played on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
But then Joe got married to Aunt Pina. That's how they met, because Joe was Jim's friend.
Okay.
And he didn't play anymore afterwards. Dad had his own. He had this one. Marty was our best man. Played the accordion. He was good. Martin DeZimone. In fact, he was. He sent a nice letter when Jim died.
Yeah.
But he said he never replaced a friend. After Jim left, he said, never replaced a friend like you. Just didn't. There was never anybody that, yeah, he was a nice. They were paisans. His mother and father were from the same village as my mother, and that's how he knew them, you know.
What does paisan mean?
Huh?
What does paisan mean?
Paisan means you're from the same city.
Oh, okay.
You know, somebody will say, oh, he's your paisan. So you know that he's like, I was from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But they were, yeah. So.
Huh.
In fact, he was best man when we got married. And then he married this Rose, who was a Polish girl, and her and I were good friends. Till we came to California, then we would see them once in a while, or Christmas cards, you know.
They didn't live that close to you, probably, huh?
But you know, I got a picture recently that we were, I don't know, did I show you what I did with it? Angelo, you know, Uncle Angelo, his daughter-in-law was working with somebody, I don't know where, and this girl said that, mentioned Carsapolo. She says, my father knew of or my grandfather knows of a Carsapolo. And here it was Marty's daughter or granddaughter that they got to talking, and then Marty gave her some pictures that we had taken. I think I showed you. You were his little boy with Louis. We were in Cleveland visiting them. I think last time you were here, because they had a son about your age. I think I showed it. I mean, what did I do with that picture? It's got to be maybe in the drawer.
Little boy, did he have scars on his face?
No, but he had a real blonde, kinky hair, curly, bushy hair. We only saw him, you probably wouldn't, you saw him maybe once or twice in your lifetime, because when we get to Cleveland, we would go see him, and he had, I think, 2 daughters, but that was the only son.
Is that building, CO, still, does it still exist?
No, they closed, yeah.
But did it become something else?
I think another nightclub. See, years ago, there was a lot of nightclubs in Cleveland. There was no TV.
Right.
And there was the Hunters that Dad used to play at. There was a Leopard Club that we used to go to in Seals. And that was a hangout, you know, that was packed on Friday and Saturday night. It was all during the, you know, big band music, you know.
And so do you remember the street it was on? Or the
Warner
address?
Road and Broadway. I don't
Warner Road and Broadway.
in
It'd be
Cleveland.
interesting if we're over in Cleveland to go see if there's a building there that
If
looks
there
about
is-
that age.
I don't know if it's there.
Might
You know who would
probably
know
find
is my
out.
brother-in-law, John. You know,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
never left Cleveland. He knew it
Right.
all. Yeah, he would know.
Huh.